House Democratic Policy and Communications Committee, and maybe running for something else. Congresswoman Bustos, first of all, congratulations on your getting reelected yourself and to your party.
Well, thank you, Chuck. I appreciate you having me here.
Let me start first with Jeff Sessions.
Okay.
If the acting attorney general fires Robert Mueller before January 3rd, do congressional Democrats have any leverage to stop it?
Well, the reality is that right now we hold no levers of power in Washington, D.C. That all changes on January 3rd, obviously, when the new U.S. House of Representatives is sworn in. But, you know, this is all part of the court of public opinion. Donald Trump is going to do what Donald Trump is going to do, and we saw that today. But let's look at have a little historical perspective here. This is the second time in American history where a U.S. president tried to fire his way out of a terrible situation. And if we'll go back a few years, it didn't end up in a very good place for Richard Nixon. So Donald Trump is going to do what Donald Trump is going to do. But we are literally a matter of weeks away before Democrats will be in control of the House. And we'll have a lot to say about this. You know,
in our national exit poll here at the network, we did throw a couple questions on the Russia probe and on the Mueller probe. And there was more people that disapproved of the Mueller probe, 46%, than approved of it, 41%. I'm curious, is that the sentiment that you probably heard in your own district, if it ever came up?
Well, and I've talked with you about this before, Chuck. I walk the grocery store aisles. I do the supermarket Saturday just asking people, what's on your mind? What do you want me to know before I head back out to Washington? And typically it is not the Mueller probe that comes up. It was time after time after time. It was health care, the price of prescription drugs, the things that people talk about and worry about as they lay their heads on their pillows at night. So we just have to, you know, the truth should be our guide. Whatever the polls show about if people are in favor of the Mueller investigation, if they're against the Mueller investigation, the truth should be our guiding star. And in the end, the truth does come out, and I'm confident of that.
Do you think pretty quickly the House Judiciary Committee, when chaired by Democrats, ought to open an investigation on the firing?
Well, Jerry Nadler will be the incoming chair of the Judiciary Committee. Adam Schiff will lead the Intelligence Committee. Elijah Cummings will head the Oversight Committee. They are all very honorable, smart men, and I'm confident that whatever they do, it'll be the right thing.
What's your mandate? What did Democrats have the House? What do you think the mandate is that gave you that power?
Well, I think we stayed relentlessly focused on what people care about at home. Again, back to what I heard from people in the 17th Congressional
District of Illinois. Sounds like it means health care. You got to fix health care.
Health care. Well, it's health care, and alongside in that same alley, it's the price of prescription drugs. They're out of control. We need to make sure that drug companies, if they want to raise their prices 10, 15, 100 times what they are today and increase it that so much higher tomorrow, then they need to show why they're doing that. Did they pay a lot more in their research, or are they just trying to hijack the American public? So it's health care. And then number two, we are going to rebuild this country again. At least we will do our part. We'll pass $1 trillion transportation infrastructure package to rebuild our roads, our bridges, our locks and dams. We'll take rural broadband out to the 23 million Americans who don't have access to it. And then the third part of that, Chuck, the mandate is that we clean up the mess. Right out back behind me is that beautiful view. And as beautiful as that looks down below, it's pretty seedy. We've got way too much self-dealing that's going on. We have Donald Trump that raked in $40 million when he was president because we have foreign dignitaries and lobbyists staying at his hotel. That kind of stuff we need to put an end to, and we are ready, and we'll rise to the challenge.
And let me ask about immigration. Is there a part of you that says, well, the great wisdom of America was they sent Democrats to the House to protect pre-existing conditions, and they sent Republicans to the Senate to go build a wall? I'm being a little facetious here, but it seems to me that one of the arguments you could make is the American people said, you guys go figure it out. We gave you divided government, which means we don't want either one of you to have full power.
Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with divided government, but the American public also calls for that divided government, meaning the Republican-controlled Senate and the Democratic now-controlled House come January 3rd, that we work together and solve our nation's problems. That's what people want us to do. And I think there's a misperception if anybody says that Democrats don't want secure and safe borders. Look, there's nothing that's more important to Democrats, Republicans, Americans than to keep our families safe. And so do we want a safe and secure border? Of course we do. Donald Trump made that promise that it was going to be Mexico paying for that wall, and all of a sudden he's ready to hand us a $25 billion bill to build a wall where let's just make sure that our border's secure. And we can do that in many ways besides build a wall. That's now just become a symbol for what Donald Trump wants to fight with people about.
You've developed quite a following among some of your colleagues on Capitol Hill, among other Democratic activists. They'd like to see you a little higher in leadership than you are now. Are you interested in moving up the ranks a little bit, running for perhaps majority leader or majority whip?
Well, I'm going to run for a leadership position. We're sorting it all out. You know, we'll see where it all ends up, but I hope my colleagues will put their faith in me.
All right. Congresswoman Cheri Bustos, Democrat from Illinois. We'll be watching. Thanks for coming on.
All right. Thank you, Chuck.
Appreciate it. Hello, YouTubers. If you're watching this, it means you've checked out our channel, so thank you. Now do me a favor. Subscribe by clicking on that button down there. Click on any of the videos to watch the latest interviews and highlights from MTP Daily and MSNBC. You can get more Beat the Press content every morning in the First Read newsletter. If you're tired of content that you don't know anything about where it came from, you don't have to have that problem with us. NBC News, MSNBC, MTP, and the Meet the Press mindset right here for you on YouTube. Subscribe now.